Hey everybody, Space Goat's back with another video. This one I'm pretty excited for today. It's not a exciting GPU or the latest CPU or some $1,000 motherboard or some big flashy fancy case. This is a component in a computer that most people don't know much about. It's not something you're going to see because it's hidden, but I'm kind of excited because this is a product that there's only one manufacturer out there that makes something like this, and Silverstone 1000 watt SFX power supply. This is the only manufacturer that actually makes a 1000 watt SFX power supply, and the computer I'm going to be putting this in is going to be a small form factor build, but sort of small form factor. It's going to go in the Lee PC011 Dynamic Mini, and in the mini case we'll accept a regular ATX size motherboard, but you have to run an SFX power supply, and it can be a regular FSX or an FXX long power supply. Now I've opened the box, I've kind of glanced at it, but I have not actually gone through everything. I can pull my Dr. Power meter out, and we'll plug this thing in and make sure everything's operating like it's supposed to. Find out, make sure everything's good. So alright, let's open this thing up and let you guys see it. Like I said, this is a 1000 watt. The individual I'm building a computer for has a 3090, and they want to put a 3090 in this little system. And the issue we were having when we started looking for power supplies was most of your SFX power supplies, the most that they had was 2 PCIe cables or plugs on the actual power supply. And with 3090 power or 3090 GPU, I don't know how much draw is on each leg of that GPU. I don't have it on hand, so I can't test it. So, and the 3090, I mean, man, one of those things, like potentially they can pull up to 450 watts. Potentially, if not more. Also in this system, we're going to have a 5950X with a bunch of fans and AIO. I'm estimating probably some in the neighborhood, potentially maximum, the system could pull 700 watts under full load if you're editing, playing games, doing something. So that's why we went with this particular power supply. Now, I will admit, she is a bit costly. She's they're pretty proud of these 1000 watt power supplies, but it's kind of like a unicorn. There's not a whole lot out there, not a whole lot of them out there, and eBay was the only place we was able to find this one. Probably paid a little bit more than we should have for it, but I had to have it though. So what it does have though, and I have put this thing on a scale. As you can tell, it's not very big. It's the SFX long, and looks like a 120 millimeter fan on top. So basically, it's 120 millimeters ish. So it's about the size of a 120 millimeter fan. You could almost probably take the grill off this thing, and you can mount it on a fan hole if you really wanted to inside of a case. A lot of cases probably have enough room you could actually do that with it. So let's dig this thing out of the box. If I get my fingers to work correctly today. Dig it out of the bag. Bag over here. Alright. Let's take our warning label off. It says PSU fan will not spin during operation until a certain load or temperature is reached. Remove before use. How about we just throw it in the trash? Because we don't need it. So it's an automatic eco Now what I think is kind of neat, which I have not seen anybody do it, they actually have plug covers on the power supply. So whatever plugs you're not using, you can actually put a cap on them. That's actually, I don't think I've ever seen a power supply do that. I guess that's what you get when you pay extra money for a power supply. Now, this power supply does have 3 or 5 if you really want to get down to it. But the motherboard we're running has, I do believe it has 2, or it might have an 8 and a 4-pin CPU power. So this has 5 CPU/PCIe powers. So I can run 3 to the graphics cards, 2 to the motherboard. We won't use any IDE or SATA, and then here's your motherboard power and whatnot. So that's now I have weighed it. It is just a smidge over 3 pounds. It's 3 pounds, almost 2 ounces roughly. So there's the power supply. Let's we got a nice little box, very well packaged. All the cables come in a bag. At times I wish they would stop with the fancy product bags and stuff like that, because most just don't care about it. This is just an added cost. If they would just make this thing cheaper. Now, since this is an SFX power supply, we do have shorty cables. So what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and test this thing. I want to make sure it's a good one before I get too far along with it. So it does have a kind of an odd 24 pin setup, but it has a 20 or 24 pin type setup on it. So let's plug you into there. That's nice and smooth. And plug you in there. We do have a nice thick power supply cable. Since it is 1,000 watt, they do have a bit heavier cable for these things, which is kind of nice. I don't mind the extra money there. I've gotten some 1,000 watt power supplies from other companies, and they have a pretty lightweight cable, probably a 14 gauge or maybe something like that. I'm not sure what the wire size. Let's see if I can find it on the cable real quick. Find some light. This does say it's 14 gauge cable. Much thicker insulation on it though. I probably have one of those lighter weight ones floating around here somewhere. Well, I know for a fact I do right over here. And yeah, that lighter weight one is a 18 gauge cable. But I think it was for like a 600 watt power supply or an 800 watt power supply, I think. And I have some other ones that are 16 gauge cables. So let's plug her in. Alrighty. And the rest of our cables, we got some Velcro straps, and of course a handful of zip ties or mounting hardware. And we got a whole big bundle of little cables here. So let me get a couple of them out. If I can get my fingers to work again. Let's see, we're at 9-minute video. Alright. So we have, this would be our 8-pin PSU or PCIe. So let's just pull one of these because I just need to check it. And I need a CPU. That'd be another PCIe. All the PCIe cables have the 8+8 connectors on them apparently, so I don't need that one. I may go back and double check I don't want that one either. Make sure there's different rails. I don't know. I'll have to go back through there and double check on the rail system. Here's our EPS power. So we want one of those. Plugs into there. And I don't care about the SATA, and I don't care about the other one, but you know what? We're here. Let's just plug it in. Let's just plug it into the tester here. Let's see. SATA. Does it come with any 4 pins? I guess it does come with a 4-pin or 2, but I'm not worried about that. So let's just plug this one into here. Now, so we've got our tester. We'll get this plugged in down here. And we will get that out of the way. Alright, we have our EPS, which should be this one. We have our SATA, which should be not sure what direction this thing is supposed to plug into it. That one. And now we have our 8-pin. So let me PCIe. I haven't actually used this tester in a little while. I haven't needed to. There it goes. Alright. And power on. And it shows 24-pin PCA, CPU, and SATA. Hit the power. We'll turn the power supply on. It made it click. It shows we have 11.9 volts on the 12 volt rail, 3.3 and 5 volt, 24 pin, 5.0, and I'm not sure what the 281. Hit the button again. It says that we have our 12 volts on our PCIe rail. We have 12 volts on our CPU rail, and it shows 5 volt, 12 volt, and 3 volt on our SATA. So we got a good power supply. Alrighty guys, well I hope you enjoyed the little quick rundown of this new power supply. And like I said, I will have a build video here, starting here in probably, it's gonna be a couple weeks. I'm still waiting for a couple of parts to show up. Having a problem locating a very specific CPU cooler. It's made by Asus. It's an ROG Strix LC280 AIO, and I guess maybe they haven't made it yet or officially released it. I contacted Asus about where I can purchase one because no one makes one, and they sent me a link that said go here to buy it. Well, you know what? No one sells the stupid things. So how can I go there to buy it if no one sells one? I wish they would have said, hey, we haven't released you yet, or we're a couple weeks out from official release, something. Not, here's our online retailers, you need to go here to buy one. And that was it. You know, they left the conversation off like that, and I kind of frustrating. But in any case, like, subscribe, tag the notification bell. If you guys want to see something a little more specific, or you know, something that you're kind of interested in or want my opinion on, let me know. I do read all the comments. I may not reply to all the comments, but I do read all the comments. I can still do that since I'm still a little channel. All right, guys. I will catch you in the next one.